The numbers prove the climate radicals and their political friends are lying to you and me and everyone. It has nothing to do with saving the planet or to help the children or help much of anything for that matter. The numbers prove we're being sold a bill of goods by the globalists that really only want one thing, and that is to permanently destroy America and destroy the freedom of millions of people and prevent billions more from ever even tasting freedom. You see, it's about control. It's about controlling America in the future. Because really, it's all about controlling you and me and everyone else, period. Because you cannot get that taste out of your mouth once you have lived a life of freedom, even for a short time. You can never go back. The sweet taste of freedom never fades. It's always there. It drives people. So let's talk about some numbers today. Some numbers, important numbers. Let's focus on coal to begin with these climate radicals. Because right now, there are scores of coal-fired power plants being built all over the planet. In China, in India, in Africa and South America, more than 40 under construction in European Union nations today. That's right, all of these places. So you have to ask yourself if coal is the alleged existential threat to mankind, why would the use of coal be hitting all-time new records every single year? If it's going to kill us, why is everybody using it and expanding the use of coal? Numbers, right? Why would dozens of nations try to help the world commit suicide and only America try to stop it from happening? Seems pretty odd, doesn't it? Pretty unusual. According to a comprehensive study by British Petroleum, the incredible surge in energy demand following the pandemic has triggered a surge in energy from all sources including coal and coal generation of electricity. It's being forecast to keep setting all-time records for consumption. We're burning more coal today on the planet than we ever have. Record-setting year after year. It's going to continue for at least the next 5 years. 5 years. And remember, we only have until 2030 until things turn around or we're all dead. Right? That's what we've been told. 2030, that's the drop-dead date. Interesting, right? That's what they keep saying, but the truth is America is about the only place where coal is being used less. The rest of the world is yelling, burn, baby, burn. The overall percentage of coal-generated use is off from a high of 40% in 2010, but still accounts for 36% today, and in actual numbers, like I say, the coal used continues to skyrocket to record levels. China, of course, leading the way, burning through 2.2 million metric tons in the first 6 months of this year. Let's compare that. 1.9 metric tons in the first 6 months of last year. So 2.2 million metric tons this year, up from 1.9 million metric tons the first 6 months of last year, and just 1.75 million metric tons in the first 6 months of 2019, pre-pandemic. It's gone up dramatically. And now Europe is scrambling to fill the need with the absence of Russian gas, and they're scouring Africa for new suppliers. One of the countries that is looking to cash in and is cashing in, the small South American nation of Guyana. Best known for the horrors of Jim Jones, of course, they've already surpassed $1 billion in oil production this year. It's led the world in energy discovery since 2015. Guyana has. Over 11 billion barrels worth of reserves discovered since then. By 2035, the forecast is for Guyana to be producing 1.7 million barrels a day. And think about that. 2035? 2035 is the forecast for 1.7 million barrels a day to be produced there. What happened to ridding the world of oil, gas, and coal? What happened to that? Aren't we supposed to be carbon neutral by that date, 2035? What happened to the Paris Climate Accords and all that puffery? I think maybe you're starting to sneak a peek around the corner and that everything you've been told may just be a lie, a fantasy. In fact, they may be lying to you every single day. I know you're shocked to hear that, but why would Guyana be predicting massive output by 2035 when the world's supposed to be ridding itself of fossil fuels? We'll start with bite number 2. While Europe is turning to coal, and coal use is setting all-time records again this year all over the world, And yet Al Gore and the globalists want you to believe if America will surrender its energy security and destroy its economy, we'll save the planet. Then again, Gore compared the Uvalde massacre, you have to hear this, it's a bit long, the Uvalde massacre of children, he compared that to climate deniers, as he calls anybody who doesn't agree with him. It is bite number 2. Go.
Said that I really agree with is that if we want more pro-climate policies, we need to elect more pro-climate senators and representatives in both parties. And we've got an election coming up, and this is time for all of us to step up. You know, the climate deniers are really in some ways similar to all of those almost 400 law enforcement officers in Uvalde, Texas, who were waiting outside an unlocked door while the children were being massacred. They heard the screams, they heard the gunshots, and nobody stepped forward. And God bless those families who've suffered so much. And law enforcement officials tell us that's not typical of what law enforcement usually does. And confronted with this global emergency, what we're doing with our inaction and failing to walk through the door and stop the killing is not typical of what we are capable of.
You know, comparing the massacre of school children to people that don't buy his climate arguments is grotesque. But that's Al Gore. People like Al Gore and John Kerry want to sit there and pontificate about how you lowly peasant, should not be allowed to have anything but dung and wood to burn for your meals. It's true. Meanwhile, the entire world is using more coal, oil, natural gas. Why is it that it's only America that has to surrender her energy security for the world to survive? By the way, not the first time. I've got an Associated Press article here from 1989. 1989 I'm going to share with you in just a moment, talking about the destruction of the planet and the drop-dead date and how if we didn't get things done by then, it was over. We would be dead. It's funny how the deadlines get pushed back farther and farther and farther. Good to have you here. Hope you've had a good couple of days. We're going to take a break here and be back with that article from the AP and so much more. Don't go anywhere. It's the Steve Gruber Show.